Hey everyone, it's Helen here. So today I'm going to talk about coming off of Nexium or your PPI. I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not here to treat or diagnose anybody. I'm just here to share my testimony. However, I just wanted to let you know that it is possible. With God, all things are possible. And if you would have seen me 10 years ago, you would have known that this is a miracle in the waiting. So 10 years ago, I would wake up in the middle of the night with chronic sore throats. I couldn't even swallow. My ears would be stuffed with reflux. I mean, to the point where they were like plugged. I would be having heart palpitations to where I thought I was having a heart attack due to reflux. And I would get pneumonia and bronchitis because of the reflux coming up in my lungs. So I would aspirate it. It was so severe. I ended up going to a gastroenterologist and I got diagnosed with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. And at that time, I was put on 40 milligrams of Nexium and told that I'd probably be on it forever. And so 10 years later, I started to believe that lie that I would be on it forever. However, 4 years ago, I ended up getting a major surgery. It was a Nissen fundoplication surgery for reflux. And so I had been down a road with this. I had seen dietitians. I had had over 5 upper GIs. I had lower GIs, colonoscopies, gastric emptying studies, the Nissen fundoplication. And so ultimately, I felt like this was probably something that was just going to be a part of my life. However, I was not willing to accept that. I thought I am relatively young. I'm still only in my 40s, and I don't believe that we're necessarily meant to be on anything forever. That's just my way of thinking, though. Again, I know sometimes, especially if you've been diagnosed with Barrett's, you probably are going to need to be on that for a very long period of time. And there are medications where you may have to be on them because it gives you a quality of life. And I totally get that. I totally understand that. But in my situation, I was just hoping and praying that one day I would get off of this medication because, ultimately it can cause different things to be on, medications for a long period of time. As we know, if we read the back of the bottle, there's many, many things that can happen if you're on something for more than 14 days, talk to your physician and stuff. And so you're on it for 10 years and you start to wonder like, okay, what's happening in my body? My joints are getting a little bit achy and my kidney levels have been off on my blood tests. And, anytime you're on a medication long-term, that can kind of mess with your kidney levels. And so I wanted to give it a go. I felt like if you listen to your body, and I've always felt this way, it will tell you what you need and what you need to do. And my body has finally, over the last couple of years, said, you know what, you're healing. Like I've gained 10 pounds. I've been healthy. I've been doing so good. And so I felt like this was the time for me to at least attempt. I had attempted in the past a couple different times. It didn't work out so well for me. After 2 days, the rebound was so bad that I would have to retake my Nexium and just move on with life. But this time I decided I'm going to try to come off of it and I'm going to do every other day for a couple weeks and do every couple days and then so on and so forth, so take one, wait 2 more days and then take one. And so for the first couple weeks, things went really, really well. And at first I thought, well, maybe it's because I've been on it so long, my body still has it kind of flowing through it, which I do believe there was some truth to that because, if you're on something for a long period of time, you're probably not going to notice coming off of it, at least for the first few days. So for me, it was every other day. It went really well. I had a little bit of reflux. I had a little bit of gas, a little bit of discomfort, but it wasn't anything major. Same with week 2. I noticed a little bit of reflux. Some days were better than others. I kept my diet pretty bland though, guys, and I have for many, many years though. So if you're somebody who maybe had an ulcer to begin with, had reflux, but then you're just on it for maintenance because you want to eat spaghetti and lasagnas and oranges and strawberries and, have soda pop and whatever, well, then I don't really know how that will work in this particular situation because I was one of those people who had to give a lot of that up early on and just continue on bland. Now, granted, over the last few years, since I've had my Nissen fundoplication and taken Nexium, I have definitely been able to eat foods that have more flavor, more zest from time to time, but I still have to watch it. From time to time, I can get a little bit lazy, so I got to scale back, on that. And what I mean by lazy, I just mean like, maybe I eat an hour before I go to bed when I'm supposed to be eating 3 hours before I go to bed, or, recline my bed upright. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I want to lay flat. Well, guess what? My body doesn't like that because here comes the reflux. So I still have to really watch things. I have boundaries in place for my reflux. However, I've been able to live a pretty normal lifestyle over the last several years, and I'm so grateful to God for that. And so back to the Nexium. I decided it was time to come off it. I was going to give it a go. My doctor was like, give it a go if you want. It's probably going to take you about 21 days, so be prepared. And so I just needed to prepare myself mentally. I know that a lot of people do like all natural things, whether it be apple cider vinegar or aloe vera or they want to drink milk. I mean, all of those things right there for me is like a bomb waiting to explode into my stomach though. See, none of that kind of stuff works for me. I'm like the 1%. So things that work for other people don't necessarily work for me. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this. And so those are great. I love natural remedies. I am so, so thankful for them. And I'm so thankful for people who can take them. However, I'm not one of those people. So I knew I just needed to have the mindset, and I just needed to drink water, and I was just going to need to hunker down and just to do the best that I could, eat a pretty bland diet coming off of the Nexium. And that's what I did. So 2 weeks were good. Third week, I decided, okay, we're going to take one. We're going to wait 2 days. We're going to take one. Well, that week was not awesome for me. And I believe it's because my body, like our bodies, they know what to do. Our bodies naturally know what to do. So here I was taking one and then not taking one for a couple of days and then taking one. And my body was, I think, getting confused. Like, what are you doing here? You know, I'm trying to work. I'm trying to do what I need to do. And you're like, the minute I'm trying to do that, you're taking a pill and stopping the pumps, you know. And so after trying to, alternate day, one day on, one day off, my body was finally getting used to that. And so you come and try to do this, and then my body didn't like that. So I decided that I would just come off. I was like, I'm not going to do every other day anymore. I don't want to be on this medication anymore. I'm going to see what my body's going to do. And I'm just going to keep a bottle of Nexium right here and a little packet of Pepcid over the counter right here, just in case. And you know what? I have not had to pick it back up in 3 months, you guys. That is a miracle. I haven't taken one Nexium in 3 months. I haven't taken a Pepcid in 3 months. Thank you, Jesus. And the only thing that I've had to take is like a handful of Gas-X. I have had a little bit of gas and bloating. A little here, a little there. So I've taken a Gas-X, and that's been it. And so I am so happy to say that it is possible. And granted, it's not for everybody. Please speak to your doctor. But if you feel like your body's telling you it's time to come off it, and you're just worried, like, what about the rebound? And will I be able to? Well, trust me, I had all those concerns too. But I finally just quit overthinking it. I did a lot of praying, and I got off the internet, guys. And I love the internet, but I got off of reading some of the naysayers stuff. Sometimes you have to be careful what you're feeding yourself. What am I reading? What am I watching? And what am I listening to? Now, there's lots and lots and lots of good information out there. However, you have to be very, very careful about what you're reading, because there's also a lot of negativity out there, and there's a lot of pessimism out there. And so for me, I just wanted to share hope. And that's what really my channel is all about, is sharing hope, because I believe there's hope in all things. And I'm not somebody who's naive that doesn't believe that bad things don't happen, because bad things do happen. But I also believe that God can bring good out of all bad things. And I've seen it happen in my life over and over and over again. And once again, what a testimony to be sitting here right now saying I've been PPI free for the last 3 months. I mean, that in itself is a miracle, especially if you would have been in my shoes over the last 10 years. So if you're feeling like you want to give it a go, I say just prepare yourself in whatever way that you think is best, and try that every other day thing. And then maybe take one and wait 2 days, because maybe your body's going to respond differently until you get to the point where you're only taking one a week, and then hopefully none a week. But I'm kind of an all or nothing person. And once I made up my mind, I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore, and I'm just going to see what happens. And here we are, and we're doing good, and I'm feeling healthy. And I can't wait to see my blood test next time to see what my kidneys are doing from coming off of it. And, I haven't had quite as much achiness and stuff, and whatever that was, who knows? But sometimes when you're on these type of medications, it can deplete you of like magnesium and all sorts of things. So you really do have to make sure that you are keeping up on your health and getting blood tests on a regular basis, and making sure that your body is getting everything that it needs to, especially when you've been on something for 10 long years. So God bless. I will be praying for you. And if you have any more questions for me regarding like reflux or PPIs or anything like that, I mean, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Just leave them in the comment section. But I'm going to be praying for you. And I just want you to know it is possible. You can come off of it. I'm living proof. I did it, and it wasn't anything super duper fancy. Again, everybody's body's different. Everyone's situation's different, but the power of prayer never changes. So God bless, and have a great day. Bye.